Man, what a week. What a week it's been. Yeah, so the New York Jets go off to London. They don't show up. They once again show up unprepared, unwilling, undisciplined, however you want to look at it. They wind up losing to the Minnesota Vikings in London. Aaron Rodgers throws 3 interceptions, one of them being a pick six, something he's never done before in his career. Nevertheless, the defense made freaking Sam Darnold look like he was seeing ghosts. They did their job. They held him to worst statistics of not just the season, but some of the worst stat lines he's had in several years playing football. But lo and behold, we lose the game. Had a chance to go ahead and pretty much win the game at the end. Aaron Rodgers throws an interception. But the crazy part is we lose that game. We come back and we fire Coach Saleh when the New York Jets are literally 2-3 with the Buffalo Bills coming up next and a chance for us to take over the AFC East. You can't make this stuff up, man. It's been a crazy week for the New York Jets. But listen, the Buffalo Bills are up next, and I'm feeling bricked up. So let's talk about it.
I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you what a loss? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you what a loss? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man.
Congratulations, brother.
And here crazy times. Crazy times. Woody Johnson did something he's never done in the 20+ years of him owning this team. Actually, I might get it 20 years. Is it more? I have to look up the math, but he's never done this before. He's never fired a head coach in season. Now, in the history of the NFL, it doesn't look like this has been a thing either, where an owner has fired a coach when they were one game out of being the leader of their division, the AFC. Okay, 5 games in, you're 0-5, 1-4. Maybe you fired the head coach, right? It's understandable. 2-3, when 3 of your losses have come across 3 top 5 defenses, and by the way, you were in all those games. That's new. That's different. But the fact of the matter is, the Jets showed up pretty much, except for the Patriots game. They showed up in every other game this year, unprepared, undisciplined. It seemed as if the game plan was just to get to the game on time, right? And that just wasn't cutting it. Woody decided that was it. He's done. He fires Coach Saleh, and Ulbrich is now our interim head coach. Now, what's great about that is we all thought, you know what, Hackett or maybe even Carter are really the issues here. The offense has been atrocious. You get a guy like Aaron Rodgers, and in the last freaking 2 years, you're seeing the same exact results on offense. Literally, like last year, this time of the year, with Zach Wilson at the helm, the Jets are 2-3. They scored 93 points. This year, with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, the Jets are 2-3 and they've scored 93 points. Again, you have a rebuilt offensive line. You got a better running back room. You've got better wide receivers now. It doesn't make sense. The numbers doesn't make sense, but somehow, some way, the offense has not gotten better. If you're looking at it freaking plain as day, statistically speaking, hasn't gotten better. It's crazy. It's crazy. But somebody had to go. And Woody Johnson decided, rather than focusing on Keith Carter and Nathaniel Hackett, it had to be Coach Saleh. He decided to go for a bigger head to go ahead and chop off than one of the little guys, right? Than a scapegoat, so to speak. Now here we are. Monday Night Football, Buffalo Bills are up, and we have an interim head coach who just replaced Nathaniel Hackett with Downing as his freaking offensive play caller. In essence, he's become the new offensive coordinator without the title of offensive coordinator. So that's a little bit weird to me. How long do we keep this charade going on that Nathaniel Hackett is the OC, or he's been relegated to coffee boy, maybe Rodgers' personal quarterback's coach? Like, who knows? Fact of the matter is, he's there purely because he and Rodgers are tight. And that's it. So now, new regime. We got Ulbrich, who was a 9-year NFL player. He played linebacker for the 49ers, 9 years in the league, was a 3rd-round draft pick. So this is a guy who has the pedigree of not only coaching in the league since 2010, but he also played in the league as well, right? So he understands his team, he understands the players. And you look at the defensive side of the football, and you've kind of seen that the Ulbrich footprint is like his DNA is impacted on the defensive side, right? Even when those guys start off a little bit slow, they do in-game adjustments. Those guys seem to continuously get better. You've seen it from every aspect, the linebacker room, the cornerback room. They just always seem to be prepared. Jets were down freaking all their starting secondary last season, and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles with the second and third string freaking secondary. Like it's always ready to go. Those guys show up at a high level. So Ulbrich, I think his impact on the defense is unquestioned, right? Now, him being the head coach, I think the goal is, or the hope is, you're going to see that same level of energy and whatnot across the entire team. Now, some of y'all might not know this, man, but the 49ers and a couple of other teams came knocking, trying to go ahead and pull Ulbrich this offseason to make him the assistant head coach and or predominantly the defensive coordinator for their rosters, for their franchises. Dude didn't want to go. He says he started something here with the Jets. He wanted to go ahead and see it through. More money was thrown at him, but he was just like, nah, I love where I'm here, and he's stuck here. So you got to appreciate that level of loyalty as well. Now, again, it's different. Is it going to be better? You can only hope so, right? Like, we've seen the Coach Saleh-led regime, and we know what that looks like. But this is going to be the first time we see an Ulbrich-led regime, which at the very least gives us hope. You go up against the Buffalo Bills team that we've pretty much gone toe-to-toe with the last couple of years now, with Zach Wilson at the helm. Our defense has kind of figured them out a little bit, but one key component that I think has always been a benefit in those matchups has been Jermaine Johnson, who has literally chased down Josh Allen on numerous occasions to go ahead and get him down on the ground. Josh Allen is the X factor for the Buffalo Bills. But with that said, you've seen them the last couple of games. I know you're going to look at the average DVOA. You're going to look at like the offensive production in terms of them being a top 5 offense. A lot of that was pretty much from the first 3 games where they were going up against nobodies, right? In terms of defense and maybe a lack of preparedness as well for what they were going to look like post the Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis era. But you saw that quickly dissipate against first and foremost against the Ravens. The Ravens, wow, did them in, right? That was something unexpected, and it kind of gave the blueprint a little bit that they really don't have a true number 1 wide receiver. We were talking about this. Now, I know a lot of Bills fans kept saying that, like, oh, well, it's all good because, they got, the tight ends. They got the Dalton Kincaid. They got the tight ends. Cool. Except for the fact that last year when that stuff was working, people discredited the impact of having Davis and Diggs on the field, making defenses respect what they could do. So the Titans only had to go ahead and face up against, single coverage, sometimes wide open. That mattered. They don't have that anymore. Diggs is not there. Davis is not there. There's no real wide receiver that scares anybody. They're currently banged up. Josh Allen, I think personally, had a concussion this past game that he had, but whatever. He was cleared. He came back out there. He played football. I think the Buffalo Bills are in trouble. I do. I think that red hot start, the 3-game win streak, they're currently on a 2-game losing streak, has kind of exposed them a little bit in regards to some of their limitations. But it looked like the last couple of games, man, the coaching staff was just like, please, Josh Allen, go save us. Go do superhero things and save us, because it didn't look like they had it figured out. And that's concerning on so many levels, because yes, Josh Allen is a top quarterback in this league. I'm not going to pretend here like he's not. I think he's proven enough over the last couple of years that you have to look at him at the very worst. He's a top 3 quarterback in this league. At best, he's in that conversation between him, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not a big believer in Joe Burrow. So it's him, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, right? Like those are the 3 top dogs in terms of quarterbacks in the NFL. But you need help. You need help. I think ultimately, like, you can only do it for so long before it comes crashing down. Josh Allen has had to be the heart and soul of this team for too long. And now it's him again. The defense has taken massive hits. Von Miller's been suspended. You've got individuals like James Cook right now on offense who's dealing with, a toe injury. Everything from safeties, linebackers like Milano, they're banged up. They've lost some significant star power on offense and on defense. this team right now, they're the AFC East division champs. Like, it still goes through them, but man, they're asking a lot out of a team that's gotten significantly less, like worse roster wise. They just have. They have the best quarterback in the division. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They got the best quarterback in the division. But then after that, what? I think James Cook might be actually currently right now. I'll be honest, he's playing better than Brees Hall. So I guess you would give them the better running back in the division right now as well, because James Cook is definitively playing better than any other running back in the division. But then after that, it's what are we talking about? Like Shakir, I think he's injured. I'm not sure if he's going to go ahead and play or not. Curtis Samuel, I think, is supposed to go ahead and make a bit of a comeback as well. I think he's playing for the first time. But are these guys really somebody you're looking at and you're like, oh my God, these guys are terrifying? No. When you look at the roster construction of the Buffalo Bills, it looks more like a team that's pushing to be a rebuild than a team that's supposed to be a perennial contender or a championship contender. I mean, outside of Josh Allen, you really got to question the rest of the roster in terms of how it stacks up against the rest of the league, especially in the AFC. Now, mind you, the AFC has looked kind of mid. I don't know what's going on right now, but even the 5-0 Chiefs don't look like the Chiefs. Like, they look like they're trying to figure out some things too. They just happen to be figuring it out and still winning. Benefit of having an elite quarterback, an elite coach. Those things kind of work out in your favor. Man, having the refs on your side too helps. But after that, man, everybody else is still trying to figure out. The Bengals right now are 1-4, which is just gross. I never thought this would be a situation where you have Joe Burrow and your team is 1-4, but when your defense plays the way it's playing right now, which is horrendous, it makes sense. Those numbers add up. I think right now a lot of teams are trying to figure things out. And I think this was the perfect time for the New York Jets to pretty much like flip to the next page. Listen, man, Coach Saleh, I think as an individual, you got to respect and admire him. I was a Coach Saleh truther. But at some point or another, man, you look at his reaction to a lot of the lack of discipline and the false starts and then just him just talking about it so nonchalantly in press conferences. For me, it was whenever he made the comment about, like, what am I going to do? Make them do push-ups? When they were asking about, like, how they were going to, hold the players accountable. That's when he lost it for me. That's when he lost it for me, man. Like, you can't give a Pop Warner response to a question like that. You're the head coach of the franchise. It's clearly a problem, and it's costing you games. You got to find a way to go ahead and hold your players accountable. And for his response to be so juvenile in regards to how, that to me is when he officially lost me. A change had to happen. Now, granted, if it was me, I would have gone after Nathaniel Hackett or Carter. Hackett, I think, is safe because of Aaron Rodgers. So then you go after Carter, right? Just to kind of like rumble some things up. But what do? We wait 3-4 more games and we see the same product going out there, and then we're out of playoff contention, and then we fire Saleh. So I got to give Woody props for doing that, man. It takes balls, some guts to go ahead and make that call this early when your team is still this close to being literally the leader of the AFC East with one win. And props to him, man. Hey, he's signed those paychecks. He's expecting results, and he hasn't seen it. And more power to Woody. Look, the New York Jets in this matchup have significantly more in their favor, okay? When it comes to the quarterback, fine. That's definitely the Buffalo Bills. They got the quarterback. When it comes to the offensive line, honestly, I'm going to give that one a wash because they both haven't looked great. So I'm going to give the offensive line a wash. Both of them have been the last few games, so I don't know what to expect from them this coming week. We're hoping for better, but it hasn't been great. Running back wise, I'm going to give that to the Buffalo Bills. I am, because I do believe that James Cook has played better, but there's a chance that James Cook doesn't even play this game because of that toe injury that he suffered from his last game. So he might not even be out there for the Buffalo Bills to utilize. So you got the linebackers, Jets. I mean, right now, literally Quincy and Jamie Sherwood right now rank in the top 5 in the NFL in regards to linebacker play. So you got 2 top 5 linebackers. I think that's an easy Jets. Secondary, Jets. I mean, even with Sauce Gardner playing the way he is, DJ Reed is literally the #1 cornerback right now in all of football. So I'm going to make that an easy freaking Jets because you got him. Even with Carter banged up, Echols has looked like the kid looks really good. Really, really good. We got to extend him fast. So the secondary, Jets. Jets got that as well. Defensive line, Jets. They just lost their best defensive lineman in Von Miller again. He's suspended for, they didn't want to tell us, but I'm not going to go ahead and speculate, but he's suspended for the next 4 games. So you got Von Miller out. Jets, they've got him right now. You've got Will McDonald, who's playing with his hair on fire. He's got 6 sacks on the season, 2nd in the NFL. I think he's going to go ahead and probably add to that a couple more times this week as well. So Jets on the defensive line. Wide receiver room. Jets, they're not playing up to par, but the talent is significantly on the Jets side. You got Mike Williams, you got freaking Garrett Wilson in itself. You can add a guy like Alan Lazard as your wide receiver 3. Hopefully we get to see Corley come out this week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we did trade up to get the kid. Hopefully he shows us something this week. With Downing taking over the play calling, I expect this offense to go ahead and look at their plethora of weapons and utilize them effectively. So that's going Jets. Tight ends, I'll give that to the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills got us in the tight end department. Again, they haven't played up the part this season, but in terms of overall talent and their ceiling, definitely goes to the Bills. Like when you look at this matchup, man, like the Jets again are in my opinion they've got the advantages. But we did lose to the Broncos. Not this regime. Not the Break and freaking Downing regime, but the Saleh and Hackett regime lost to the Broncos. I think the Jets should win this game. I think Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers is pissed off about, he got Hackett. He got freaking his boy Hackett demoted. He got freaking Saleh fired. He didn't call for him to get fired. I don't think he made the call to Woody and say, hey, he's got to go, whatever. But you can't argue that his play was the cause that you don't have your head coach and your boy Hackett has been demoted. I mean, 3 interceptions this past game was horrendous. I'm hoping that was an anomaly and not the new norm for Aaron Rodgers. At this point, I wasn't expecting for us to get MVP Rodgers back. I was hoping to get a caliber of Aaron Rodgers more along the lines of what we saw in his last year of Green Bay, a top 10 to 15 guy. I think for us, that's more than enough with the level of talent we have defensively. But right now, Rodgers is looking pretty mid the last couple of games. Now, granted, he's gone up against the number 1 and number 3 ranked defenses in the NFL. But still, you expect more from your first ballot Hall of Famer. You expect more from some guy who, again, his arm talent is still very much there, right? His mobility might have taken a bit of a step back, several steps back, but you don't expect him to throw 3 interceptions in one game. That's just totally unacceptable. But I think this is a bit of a redemption opportunity, right? The team is fired up. The energy's got to be different. These guys feel like they failed as professionals. Sometimes, I've said this before, sometimes it's about, figuratively speaking, you got to shoot a hostage, right? You got everybody in the room. They're acting all wildly, getting cocky. They don't believe you're going to do it. You pick an individual out from the hostages, and then you, boom, figuratively speaking, you shoot a hostage. Everybody else gets on track. They realize you're being business. They're going to go ahead and calm themselves down. I think those things matter. In this case, Woody decided the hostage was going to be Coach Saleh, and it kind of sets the tone about accountability in the entire freaking room. The New York Jets have come into a whole new era. We went from the all gas, no break, which oddly enough, we saw a lot of break, it felt like, in the Saleh era, to simply accountability. Yeah, that's the new mantra, accountability. And I'm excited to see it, man. I'm excited to see it. I think, change was needed. Change was warranted. I think Woody having the guts to go ahead and go at the top of the food chain, in essence, to go ahead and create that change, create that level of accountability, says a lot. It should have woken up some of these guys. Hopefully it has. I don't know. I do believe, nevertheless, this team is just way too talented. The Bills don't know what to expect now with a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, so they're having to realign what their game plan is going to look like against this team. We still very much have the continuity in terms of how to play against their defense. I mean, their offense. Our defense has done a very good job at containing and maintaining Josh Allen. So I got Jets winning this game. Jets win this game. Listen, at 3-3, you're top of the AFC East. An opportunity to go ahead and hold on to this for a while now. So I think the next few opponents are beatable. I'm pumped. I'm going to be at the Steelers game week after next, or after the week after this. So that's going to be exciting for next, I guess it's next Sunday Night Football. I'll be at the game with my brothers. And of course, seeing my fellow Jets fans as well. But Jets win this game. Jets win this game. And I think it's going to be a bit of a convincing win, too. I don't think it's going to be anything light. I think the Jets win this game 28-17. 28-17, New York Jets win. Aaron Rodgers has a bit of a nice bounce back game. Ulbrich starts off his, tenure as the Jets head coach 1-0. I think he goes 1-0. 28-17 is the final score because the defense is going to show up. I think there's going to be some turnovers of Josh Allen. I think we're going to see the running game get going a little bit as well. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to get at least 2 TDs this game. Garrett Wilson is going to be heavily involved. I just think the matchups are in our favor. In terms of coaching, I can't really give the coaching nod to us because I don't know yet. So I guess coaching also goes to the Bills right now because they at least have continuity. So we'll give them that as an advantage as well. But yeah, man, new era. I'm bricked up. Jets kick off this new era of Coach Ulbrich as the head coach. 1-0 against the Buffalo Bills. 28-17. And then the Steelers are off next. Yeah. Go Jets.